Like and subscribe right now, or this will be in your bed tonight. r/ask Reddit by Planet Reddit. What's the scariest thing that's ever woken you up during the middle of the night? When I was a kid, we went camping in the woods. I heard what I thought was a bear outside our pop-up camper, and it woke me up. Me and my two brothers were sleeping on one side, with me in the middle, and our parents were sleeping on the other side. It was completely dark, so I couldn't see a thing. But I could hear what I thought was a bear snorting around outside. I was scared to death. I couldn't figure out a way to climb over my brothers and cross to the other side to wake up my father without making noise and alerting the bear to the tasty meal waiting inside. So I just lied there perfectly still for the whole night, waiting for giant claws to rip their way through the canvas. As the sun came up and I started to see, I noticed that the lump that was my father in a sleeping bag was rising and falling with the bear's snorting. Turns out my dad's snoring had kept me up all night in absolute fear. Can relate. Any little noise sounds super amplified when camping in the woods. I honestly thought there was a large creature walking slowly out of the lake nearby our campsite once. After investigating, it turned out to be freaking frogs hopping. Frogs? Ugh. I felt like a complete idiot. Hilarious, your brain converted your dad snoring into a bear snorting. But makes sense when you think of the similar sounds. Camping is so terrifying. I went once and woke up to the sound of something eating inside my tent. I couldn't even move and just laid there in fear listening to a creature eating in complete darkness 5 feet away from me. Turns out it was just a hedgehog eating our hot dogs. A hedgehog? I've never seen a hedgehog in the wild before. That world freaked me out more than anything. Are you sure you weren't camping in Narnia? This was actually in New Zealand, so yeah, kinda Narnia. A poster falling down from the wall. I'm pretty sure my neighbors heard my scream. Flat Stanley, is that you? Wait, what? Someone else knows about Flat Stanley? I thought I was the only one. I thought it was pretty common. Do a lot of people not know about it? I have no idea, I just assumed it wasn't that common considering nobody I knew as a kid had ever heard of it. Only 3 books of Flat Stanley were ever published. Edit. 3 physical books, not stories, only 3 books ever. Seriously? It felt like there were a billion different books back when I was a kid. Once I woke up because I heard music playing from the kitchen, and I thought maybe mum forgot to turn the radio off. I went through the dark hallway to the kitchen to turn the radio off, but when I was standing in the dark kitchen there was no music playing, everything was as quiet as always at 3 AM. There's an oldish post on Tumblr about someone who kept hearing carnival music in their apartment, but could never find the source. Turns out that they were having auditory hallucinations. Edit. To anyone who also experiences this, I recommend that you do look into it further to perhaps find its causes or ways to counter it. Also, this reply by u/weeping_demon7 may also be linked to this depending on how you experience these sounds. No. It's not an audio hallucination, but a form of tinnitus called apophenia, and is quite common. I often hear faint music in white noise. Sounds distant and as though it's being distorted coming through walls. It might sort of sound like a particular genre sometimes, but not usually, though it sometimes seems repetitive, like I think I recognize some structure to it. Never distinct enough to even bother trying to figure out if my mind is trying to reproduce something I might know I tried in the past. I've always known it's just my hearing, but every now and then laying in bed and the furnace or air conditioner come on, no other sounds in the house, for some reason every now and then it fills me with mild dread. A bit worse if it happens to be the one of the rare times I can't tune it out. Edit. Yep, musical ear syndrome seems to check out. Thanks for the insight. And thanks for the concerns. I realized quickly the source of the sounds and chalked it up to my general poor hearing. A few months before the first time I noticed it, I'd finally came to accept my hearing had experienced some kind of recent deterioration. For about 2 years friends Family and co-workers began bringing things up on a regular basis, then daily, then multiple times a day. It was so often that for the last couple months of denial it agitated me. I was barely 20. It wasn't my fault, they just wouldn't speak clearly or above their restaurant voices. Eventually had to accept that it was true or that there was some weird ass conspiracy. Also, those super rare times that it's briefly unsettling is just because the music I think I'm hearing. Like ominous sounding. Like the score to a horror movie. And like how you know the movie isn't real, but it can raise your adrenaline. Edit here. I carried on with the horror movie analogy because ominous is the best way to describe it. But the ominousness is more rooted in the way it seems that if I were able to hear it clearly it would be entirely foreign to any music I've ever heard, but still music somehow. Lastly, I might not hear for shit, but I can detect and pinpoint white noise types of sound long before anyone else has usually noticed it. Like a TV speaker that had a hum or vibration that everyone claims they hadn't noticed until I brought it up. That shit had been driving me crazy for weeks from the other room. And when I would be in their living room it was just parkering at me off the TV stand, a plastic floor lamp in a corner, and a dog kennel. It was a missing screw on the backside behind the speakers. I'd already known it was the bottom, left, backside. So I have that superpower going for me at least. My dog barking because cops were banging on the doors and windows of our airbnb, flashing their lights into each and every room. Called 911 and she told us to not answer the door because she doesn't see cops in our area. Yup. Holy crap, that's terrifying. Smart move on calling the cops. And like then that was it? They didn't send someone over to check it out. The people were just like, welp, noon's gonna run, so I guess we can go home now. No, so we were pissing ourselves for 10 minutes. Thankfully Joshua Tree was quick to respond and they sent CHP to the house. When the operator told us it was okay to go outside, we opened the door to 4 cops and the 2 that were initially there were pissed and yelled, "You called the cops for nothing. Your car has been hit." We told them that the operator said there were not cops on scene, and they said that Joshua Tree apparently doesn't have their own police department, so the sheriff and CHP both work in tandem, and when you call 911, CHP shows up, and I guess the operator can't locate sheriffs? I don't know. Still fucking weird. The sheriffs seemed to be pissed CHP showed up, and we told them that they were banging on the doors and windows, saying that our car got it, when it wasn't even ours. I'm sure they got scolded. I still don't know why they didn't run the plates of the car that got it, and just left a note, and also how the hell they got over the fence. Why hop the fence in the middle of the night and yell at someone to open their door? Fucking scary. Imagine if we were armed. Wait, so it actually was cops? I thought it was burglars or something. It was, but I honestly have no idea what their intention was and what they would have done if we just opened the door. No normal cop would hop a 12-foot fence, bang on every single window and door around the house with their lights shining in, all to tell us that the car out front got it. They are able to run the plates and see who the car belongs to. I still panic thinking about it to this day. When you say got it, do you mean got hit? Yeah, for real. WTF is he on about? Got. Sorry. Typing on my phone and not rereading what I wrote. Yes, HIT asterisk. Damn, I thought it was slang for stolen or something, lol. My cat howling at another cat through a screen in the door. Sounded like a demon. That is such a scary and freaky sounding noise. You're sure right on that? My sister had an all-white clown doll that hung from the ceiling on a little swing. In the summertime, we slept with our doors and windows open to get the cool air in. When I woke up one night hearing some tapping against her window down the hall. If I sat up in bed and looked down the hall, and I could see into the front of her bedroom. So I did, and I see this fucking clown swinging back and forth against her window, backlit by the street lamp, but clearly staring directly into my soul, like it was all it desired in this world. I didn't sleep well that summer. read that first sentence and said, "You got the wrong one." The night I watched the movie The Conjuring, I woke up to my bed shaking and all the clothes hanging in my closet rattling like crazy. Took me quite some time to realize it was an earthquake and not the devil come visiting. When I was in my final year at high school, I had trouble sleeping at night with my final exams approaching. I think I dozed off for a bit and suddenly woke up to see a person's face staring in through my window grill. I was in such a panic I literally couldn't move or scream. Luckily he saw me wake up and escaped. So someone was actually watching you? Nah, it was probably just a friendly sleep paralysis demon. I was drifting off and was already dreaming, but it seemed I was still awake because I was dreaming of myself in bed in my room, but in my dream I was awake. I dreamt some people or person swung through the bedroom door and ran towards me and in an instant and hit me with all their might with some heavy object. I shook awake. It was a similar feeling when you may startle yourself awake because it seems like you're falling. It took a moment for my brain to tell me I was alone and it was just a dream. It was so strange, exhilarating, scary. Never had a dream like it since. Oh my god. I once had a dream where I was asleep in bed, rolled over, and the person next to me was not my husband. He was terrifying looking. He reached for me, and I screamed and ran for the door. There was another terrifying stranger danger at our bedroom door who reached for me too. So I screamed again and bolted and I woke up halfway in the bathroom with my husband going, "Shh, you're okay, you're okay." I think I gave him a heart attack that night. If I had that happen I wouldn't want any other way to wake up though. I had a large camel spider run over my face at about 3 AM. That was not a pleasant sensation. Those fuckers are fast as shit and will follow your shadow for hours if they can. Thanks, I hate it. If you hate that, you'll hate this. I moved into an apartment in Australia that had a tree outside the bathroom window, so every time we left it open to air out the bathroom after a shower, then forgot about it, huntsman spiders would get in. So I started having nightmares about spiders because of how often I saw them. One night I had said nightmare about said spiders. I wake up in a hot, confused sweat. My boyfriend asks what's wrong, and in the ambient light getting into the room, I see a whole nest of little black spiders in the corner of the ceiling on my boyfriend's side of the bed. I scrambled to the end of the bed in absolute fear. Turns out I was just my eyes playing a trick on me, thank fucking God. Took everything I had not to cry. Needed serious cuddles that night. Kept having spider nightmares until we left that apartment. Thank you for supporting Planet Reddit. I love you. Subscribe for 3 videos a day.